Hey folks, Dad here with Elevation Diecast Racing. Happy Friday, and it is time for some Friday Night Lightning. Where tonight we'll be looking through the ones sitting on the track. Been running them, working with them, getting them ready, and we'll be looking to fill not only these empty spots, but possibly replacing cars that aren't just going to cut it anymore in the Johnny class. We have a long line of participants. Certainly won't get through all of them tonight. So let's get up top with the first two in line. All right, in lane number 2, the 1929 Ford Model A taking on the GTO. Let's see how they roll. Ooh, the Model A with a 207.1. 207.1. Wow. And a 26,000 speed. Oh, yeah. 209.1's a good time. He'll remain on the sidelines. All right, next up, another GTO taking on the Plymouth Duster. Let's see what these two have. Pretty good race. 209.1 and a 10,000 speed by the Duster. Switching lanes. GTO out front, but the Duster gets him on the back end. Look at that. 208.7 to 88, and the Duster moves on. Okay, next up, my second blue Camaro. Let's see, we've been working with him. He's got some decent wheels. Taking on one of those from Scale Racing is the Cameo, Chevrolet Cameo. Not too many of these around anymore. We have one here in Loveland that I know of that we have seen in car shows in times past. Look at that. 208.1 by the Camaro and 8.2 by the Cameo. Let's see what they do. Switching lanes. The Cameo. 207.6. Oh my Lanta. He's definitely moving on. These cars not putting down bad times, but they're going to get a shot later on and see. We want to strengthen the ranks. And right now there's 44 spots. I'm sure that'll grow over time. You know. But until then, we want to get these ranks fast. And Friday night is where Johnny Lightning makes its mark on the track. Little Red Express Dodge taking on the White Lightning. Thank you, Trace the Senior. Ooh, look at that, though. 2:101. Not a bad time, but 2:07.9. Let's switch lanes and see what they do. Ooh, 2:07.0. Wow. He'll be moving on. White Lightning joins the list of the end of the track participants. There'll be a lot of those, but they will find their way into the Johnny Lightning class, I am certain. Those are all good times for Johnny Lightning. So we have an El Camino from the Sky Show taking on another Dodge Challenger. Should be a good race. Challenger, oh my, 2:07.3. There's a lot of good times. 2:12 will get you in the back parking lot. 2:12 will get you over here in this field. We'll call this left field. You don't want to be in left field. This is where Johnny's go to sit. You never know, though. Working with him over time. Wow. 2:104 is not a bad time, so we'll keep him around on the backtrack. Okay, up next, staged and ready, is the Ford DeSoto. I believe that, is that a Chrysler? Against the 95 Chevy Camaro. That Camaro has been around for a while. He keeps winning, and he's getting better times. 2:09.7 to an 04. Chrysler DeSoto now on the inside lane. Gets the jump. Whoo, 2:09.8 to 05. We're going to run him again. That's a 7,000 speed. 2:09.8 and greater than 7,000 speed needed by the Camaro. DeSoto gets the jump again. 9.5. Whoo, Camaro is moving on. Sub 211 times. We'll keep around on the back track. Next up, one of my newfound favorites, the Mad Maverick in lane number 1, taking on another one of those GTOs. Let's see what they have this week. First run, Maverick, woo, got bested by 2000s. 2104 and a 2000 speed or greater. Now on the inside lane is that Maverick. 2102 and a way bigger beat, and that's going to do it. The Maverick is moving on. 212 will get you over here in the rework lane. Up next, another Dodge. And this one is a road and track Dodge, taking on the classic 40s Ford. Let's see them roll. Look at the Dodge. 2081. Oh my Lanta. 2081 and a 27,000 speed. Truck keeps up a little better that time, but it is definitely the road and track Dodge. Moving on. Okay, next up in the blocks, a super sweet Lincoln Continental taking on the green version of the 69 Camaro. Ooh, the Continental came back on the back end. Look at him go. 209 with a 7,000 speed or greater will be needed by that Camaro if he wants to move on this week. 2084 putting the pressure on is that Continental. He's moving on. Next up, staged and ready, the Cat in the Hat GTO taking on this Plymouth GTX. I expect this to be a good race. Oh yeah, neck and neck. 10,000 speed by the GTX. One's moving on, one's going to the back lane. Woo! Look at the Cat in the Hat turning up the heat as he joins this row of contenders. All right, next up, staged and ready. One for everybody about that van life. Let's see it. You know this one, and you know this one, Cut Rate Movers. Let's see who moved on this week. Cut Rate Movers way out front, 2080 and an 18,000 speed. 2080 by Cut Rate Movers, and he'll keep it 2078. Wow, he's moving on this week. Definitely not a bad showing by this van. He has come along by leaps and bounds running a 2088. We'll see him again. Okay, next up, it's my second stiletto. I've been working with this one along with this El Camino. We'll see what they have in store for this week. Hoping for that stiletto. Yeah, he's getting a little faster. 2098. Seems like it took him a minute to get down there, but once he hit the flats, he picked up speed. Is that the case this time around? Oh yeah, he got in the lead and stayed on it. Stiletto moves on this week. Okay, last race before we start hitting the ranks. It is the Fox Body Mustang taking on the Dodge Hemi Challenger, or Hemi Cuda, I'm sorry. 2093, wow, to a 06. This Hemi Cuda sitting in the back parking lot. I just kind of found him before we started the race today and thought, well, we might as well run him, and I'm glad we did. But he'll have to do better than a 2106. 2093 is the target. He's out in front, but he gets passed on the back end by the Mustang. Is moving on. So you've seen what times that Model A ran. We're going to give the number one Studebaker one run for a warm-up lap. See what he's putting down. 2058. I don't see anything touching that guy. Nevertheless, we're going to put him in some traffic. Good race. 206 Ford 70. We'll swap him. Oh yeah, Studebaker with the jump, and he did not let up. Okay, World War II ambulance, currently in the 9th position, has had one warm-up lap already. Let's see how the Model A does. Good race, neck and neck. 7.4 to 7.5. Ambulance getting it done. Model A needs a 2074 and a greater than 1,000 speed if he wants to take that spot. No way. Ambulance got out and stayed out. 2067. Wow. All right. Superbird had a warm-up lap. Currently number 8. That 2067. Very good time. Let's see if he can climb the ranks. Good race. Superbird is in the right spot, it looks like. Definitely the fastest bird I have. Well, technically, Daytona. But the ambulance, 7.5 to 7.8. Let's go. Can the Daytona beat a 2075? No, we're going to give it to the ambulance. We're going to let him keep climbing. He's going to take on my fastest Escalade for spot number 7. Escalade out front and staying there. Wow, 7.4 and a 9,000 speed. Ambi needs to beat it. Not going to happen. And the Cadillac stays where he's at. So it's back to the Model A contending for spot number 9. Can it beat the Daytona? Good race. 69 and a 10,000 speed. Model A with a 10,000 advantage. And the Daytona not able to do it. Not a better time. We're going to advance the Model A. And since the ambulance already beat him, he'll sit at number 9 in the current Johnny Lightning class. All right, so let's see. Let's roll this Cameo. See where he rolls up against the number 11 Plymouth Satellite. Satellite out on him, 77 to 86. Let's see if the Cameo can best it. Cameo out in front, 78. And a consistency run, if we can get a 207.8 and a greater than 5,000 beat. 207.4 and a greater than 5,000 beat, and the Satellite will stay his spot. Former number 1, you know it, you love it, the Red Import Heat. Let's see what they got. Import Heat pulling away at the end. 207.8 to 79. 207.8 and a greater than 1,000 speed needed by the Cameo. He will not do it. 207.0. Wow, looks like we got an Import Heat climber. Let's see if the Heat can orbit around this Satellite. Looks like he's getting it done. 206.9. What? 206.9 and a greater than 10,000 speed. And the Import moving up. And this is how it is going through these Johnny Lightnings from week to week. That's what makes it so exciting, because you never know what they're going to do from week to week. Like this one here, 5,000 speed. 207.3 and a greater than 5,000 speed needed by the Daytona. Won't get it done. First position defense for the Model A for spot number 9. Import Heat. Whoo, Model A getting it done. 207.2 and a greater than 2,000 speed needed if Import Heat wants to keep climbing. Won't get it done. That's where the buck will stop, at the Model A Ford. So we'll put the Cameo against my current number 13, my Dodge Ram 1500. 1500 out front. Whoo, by a long shot. So a 207.8 and a greater than 6,000 speed will be needed by the Cameo. Won't get it done. Great race though. And it looks like the times are closing in, which will give our 2005 Ford Mustang some little bit of work. Oh, 207.8 to 76. 8,000 speed and a 207.8 needed by the Cameo. 207.4 and a 9,000 speed will put the Cameo in position. All right, let's see. What do we want to race? What do we want to race? Well, might as well go from the front. It's Duster. Putting down a pretty decent time. 208.8. All right. 208.8. He's not going to touch the Mustang. We might as well just start with the Wolverine pickup. And we'll give him a dry run to warm his axles up. And then we'll see if that Wolverine can dust the Plymouth. Ooh, tie. 208.1 and a 10,000 speed. Let's see if the Plymouth can do it. Truck will get him. All right, 1952 three-window Ford. Next up for the Duster. Can he get in? 82 to 89. 208.2 and a greater than 7,000 speed if that truck wants to stay in his spot. And the Plymouth will dust him at the end. 208.1 puts him in line. Plymouth Duster from that 10-pack, now sitting at number 17 in the Ghtn Lightning class. Seems like there's a bunch of fast ones in here. Road and Track. Dodge Ram. 2088. We'll run him up against the 3 window. Oh yeah, he gets him 8.4 to 9.2. 2084 in a greater than 8,000 speed. If the truck wants to stay in his spot, good race. But it will definitely be the Road and Track Dodge Ram. Let's see if he can take out the newly placed Plymouth. Plymouth got him in the end. No, he didn't either. Look at the Ram go. 2089 in a greater than 1,000 feet needed by that Duster. Oh, and he'll get it done. 8.6. And that'll hold the line for him. All right. So from number 1, we'll look at them all up to 44th spot. This is what the Ghtn Lightning class looks like as of tonight. Not bad. Not a bad looking fleet. Number 23 and on. That is another Ram. Camaro. Import Heat, the blue version, sitting at number 28. Nice to see the toppers in here. Going to be interesting to see how these all shake out as we race through them each week. On Friday Night Lightning tow truck, I'll be working with him a little more to hopefully get some more speed out of these guys before they make it out of the ranks. Of course, anything making it out of the ranks will go in this row here for the rework, and that's how we'll do it. We'll rework them and keep the ranks fast. But as you look into the sea of lightning, all cars, beautiful cars that I wish were faster, just can't cut it. Not fast enough. But you never know from week to week. I'll work with some of them. Looking for another one of these for sure. Looking for some speed. But as the weeks and months pile up and move on, it'll get harder and harder to get into the Ghtn Lightning class. So from all of us over here at Elevation Diecast Racing, thanks for joining us for Friday Night Lightning, and we'll see you next week. If your car isn't fast, well, maybe put it in a shadow box. At least it'll look good on the shelf. Have a great weekend.